Hello guys, LEGO here, and in today's video I've got a March 1st LEGO Ninjago set review here, and it is of set number 71810, Young Dragon Riyu. So this set contains 132 pieces and 3 minifigures and retails for £12.99 in the UK. So without further ado, let's take a look at the set. So here we have Ryu all built up, and I'll give you a quick little overview before I show you it in more detail. So obviously this is quite a small dragon because it is at a smaller price point, but that definitely doesn't take away from the detail and the overall result of the set. So as you can see, I've got a few of the minifigures posted on here, which sort of takes you into the main play feature of Ryu here in this set, which is you have two areas on top just to basically place your minifigures. So you can either have one sitting on the saddle, or you can also have an additional figure sitting on the back piece here, because obviously there is two connection points which allows for minifigures to sit down in them. And I really like how they've achieved the shape of the body here using some of the Evo mech joint pieces, I believe that was introduced in the March wave, which is present on the Coal mech, for example. But that's a nice, really cool part usage here, and it really just rounds off the body nicely and doesn't leave it open or gappy, and it closes that off really, really well. And then we've got a simple saddle build towards the front here, so obviously Ryu is obviously sort of like a tame dragon, so they can actually use him. But this sort of implies that there's been a bit of a time skip between Dragon Rising Season 1 and 2, because obviously he's quite grown now. Because in the first wave of sets, he was obviously the small little dragon baby piece, which I don't have on hand at the moment. But he also does come with a moulded head, which is really nice, which is I much prefer rather than them having done a brick built head. So that is an all new piece for this wave. And it's just got some really nice printing detail here, just on both sides. It's completely identical with some of these sort of scales in dark blue and orange here on the edge, which I feel like is supposed to be some symbolism towards Aaron possibly, but I'm not too sure. Then he just has some really cool green eyes down here towards the front, and obviously you see the lower jaw there is also connected, so it's all one piece, and that's just connected by a mixel joint here, which connects through that pinhole here, so you can actually get a good range of articulation here. I'd say the only problem that this set really has, and it comes towards the head, is that the fact that it's really open on the bottom. So it would have been nice if they just completely filled that all in, but I guess it's not too much of a big deal, and it's probably for the price of the set, I would imagine, but that's the only thing that sort of takes away from this. So if you're looking at it from below, obviously it's just this massive gap underneath his chin. But moving aside from that, he does have two wings, so if you're familiar with the Ninjago theme, you would know that these came in the Dragon Strike power-ups, these wing pieces, so they are new for 2024. But instead of being dual moulded in two colours, they are just in Ryu's sand blue colour scheme here, which is really nice. And there's two clip points here, so you can actually change the angle of the wings if you'd like to, so you can have them more angled towards his body if you'd like, but this is how the set is built, and that's how I like to have it personally. And at the end of the wing, there's two more attachment points for just some claws here, which are in gold, which are the mech finger pieces. Then moving towards the tail, we have just simple mixel joint connections with some cheese slopes to emulate scales, which follows on for the body, as well as some spiked tail pieces here, which are achieved by these scythe blades pieces in gold. So that adds a nice pop of colour, as well as the claws up front. And all of his leg builds are exactly identical, obviously just mirrored on either side. And you do get some stickered elements here, which sort of mimics the pattern that's on his face of the dark blue scales, which then fades out into these yellowish orangish scales. And you can articulate it at the sort of joint here and as well at the ankles. And the feet are just these really simple assemblies with the sort of tooth pieces with some 1x2 sort of cheese slope pieces again, which just gives some nice texture and visualization to the foot. So that's the overall build of the set. There's not really much to it because obviously there's not really many play features, but I feel like the actual design of the set is amazing, and that will obviously come together in the final thoughts of the video. So without further ado, let's move on to the minifigures of the set. So the one and only villain minifigure in this set is one of the Wolf Mask Warriors, which was introduced in January of this year. And he does come in quite a few sets, so it's nice to get another one of him as just an army builder in the Dragon's Rising series. So I'm not going to spend too long on him here, because I have reviewed him on the channel before. But he does have a really cool just colour scheme of navy blue and purple with some sort of text around his robes there. And he's got some of those nice shoulder pad pieces, which are, I think, the Stone Warrior ones, with some extra detailing on the legs down here as well, which just has some more sort of wolf detailing and purple robe pieces. Then flipping him around, he has that sort of crescent insignia of the wolf in that sort of teal blue colour, which is really nice again. And obviously he does come over with his really cool moulded mask, so if we just remove that, you can see one of his 2 face prints, which is just sort of snarling, sort of grunting face, with some silver teeth and just regular minifigure eyes. Then turning that around, it is just the exact same face, but this time the teeth and eyes are blue this time. So he does come with 2 minifigure faces, so that is a nice addition, but obviously most of the time he's going to be wearing the mask, you're not really going to see that. And his accessory in the set is just this sort of silver scimitar piece, so this is a nice inclusion to get rather than just the typical katanas. So without further ado, let's move on to the last 2 minifigures. So the first of 2 heroes in the set is obviously Jaron here. He was obviously introduced last year in the Dragon's Rising sort of preliminary wave. And he is the exact same figure, so I'm not going to spend too long on him here. But he obviously does have his colour scheme of the orangish and yellow colour, with a nice dragon print on there, and obviously his logo on his left there. And his accessory is really cool. It's actually a new piece for this wave, and it's sort of this hook piece, and it's all one piece, and it's just got the dragon hilt piece sort of moulded that comes down into this hook now, so you can obviously hooking it onto wires and stuff, so you can use that as like a climbing tool. So this is a nice cheap way to get that piece. So it does come in a lot of the sets this way. I think it comes in most of them, to be honest. But he also does come with a typical gold katana, which is typical of Ninjago sets these days. And he's got his really cool hood piece, which is dual moulded, obviously, with the gold horns at the front. And if we just remove some of his accessories so you can see his face, he does only have 1 face print, because unfortunately his hairpiece that he has in the show or whatever, and in a few sets, is obviously too short. So this is his only facial expression that you can get at the moment. And it's just sort of a simple smirking face here. The camera would like to focus on him. So yeah, it's just a sort of simple expression there. And if you have the hairpiece on hand, you can obviously give it to him. But yeah, like I said, the only face print for him here. And that dragon detailing just continues onto the backside there, which I assume is his name in the jargon. So now let's move on to the final figure of the set. So here we have the sort of probably the most desired figure in this set, obviously because of the new hairpiece. This is Sora. So this is her same design from obviously the original Dragon's Rising wave, but instead of having a hood piece, she actually comes with a new hair piece, which better reflects what she has in the show. So she obviously has a really cool pastel pink hair colour in this sort of ponytail, but it's dual moulded with the navy blue colour with the cat earphones. So if I just take it off here so you can get a better look how it's dual moulded. But yeah, that's a really nice cool piece to get, and obviously it better represents the character from the show rather than the hairpiece that she's been receiving. So it's a nice alteration from the character. Obviously we haven't gotten a new figure for Sora in this wave, so it's a nice way to get some variety in her rather than just getting the same figure again. Excuse me. So yeah, as I've previously mentioned, it's the same design as a 2023 Dragon's Rising design. She does come with a golden katana here. So if we just get a close-up of her torso detailing here, we got just some belt buckles and stuff, and sort of like her theming of like cats and stuff. As you can see there was a little key down there. And obviously she comes from the Imperium realm, for those who are familiar with the show, so she does have a gold printed arm here, which sort of represents that realm. And her other arm is just plain white with a navy blue hand. Then moving to the back, we can see more of her back torso detailing, which just has a bigger picture of that little cat there, which has some sort of grumpy face. And Sora does come with 2 face prints, so we have this sort of normal version of her, well, when she's not using her powers, where she's sort of angry. And turning her around, the second expression is just her using her powers, so her eyes are this pastel pink colour, which is the same as her hair. So that is definitely the best minifigure in this set, so without further ado, let's move on to the final thoughts. Personally, this is a set I'd definitely recommend as a Ninjago fan myself, and obviously to other Ninjago fans. Just mostly because of the price of the set and the overall value you're getting here. You're getting basically 3 main characters as well as a villain, which is just a nice addition to your collection if you already have some of those minifigures. But you're obviously getting Riyu, who is now grown up rather than the baby version, as well as Jaron and Sora. So you get 2 of the new ninja here in an extremely cheap way. I believe it's the cheapest way you can actually get these 2. Other than Jaron coming in one of the Dragon Strike sets, But this is obviously his complete form, his original form. And you also get Sora's new hairpiece, which is only exclusive in this set at the moment. And for the price of $12.99, you're getting a really nice small dragon build. And to be honest, this is probably one of the best dragon builds they've had in recent years, especially for the scale. With how small it is, I believe they've done the best they can with the part usages here, especially with the wings and this body piece here. And as well, giving a new unique moulded head for the character is really nice as well to get. Other than the fact there's a big gaping hole at the bottom, I believe this is probably one of the best sets of the wave, and definitely one you should pick up if you're a Ninjago fan. So if you're looking for more LEGO content, I'm going to leave some pinned videos on the screen now, and without further ado, I'm going to sign out and goodbye.